Your brain is playing tricks on you from time to time. Insecurities, lack of self-confidence, fear, sudden forgetfulness. Familiar? Well, you and me don't always act rationally. The reality is, even when we know what the most rational response should be, we often end up doing something entirely different. But why is this? This is because the human brain is divided into different parts, two competing forces, the human and the inner chimp. Whenever the two clash, or the wrong one ends up in charge, we have a problem. In this video, you will learn interesting things about your brain that will help you achieve more happiness and success in life. Let's go! One of the easiest ways for us to learn is through analogy. That's why I love how Professor Steve Peters replaced three complex sounding names for parts of our brain, frontal, limbic, parietal, with simpler images, human, chimp, computer. You see, your brain, or more correct, your psychological mind, consists of three separate brains, the human, the chimp, and the computer brain. Your computer is an automatic functioning machine, a storage area where all information, including your experiences and learned behaviors, are stored for future reference. For example, are you making your morning coffee or driving a car while talking to someone? Well, you're on autopilot and you're using your computer brain. Another two brains are independent thinking machines that also independently interpret our experiences. The human, which is frontal part of our brain, and the chimp, which is limbic part of our brain. You are human, the essential you, that rational, analytical part of the brain that processes information in a considered, factual way before taking action. For example, do you ask yourself questions such as, what do I want to do in this situation? Or what do I want to be in life? The answers to these questions are the key to the human side of your brain. Now, your chimp is an emotional thinking machine that responds very quickly to stimulus, thinks independently of us, and can trigger thoughts and feelings that can either be constructive or destructive. For example, are you having an argument with your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend over some unimportant thing? Well, you're using your chimp brain. Any one of these brains can take complete control, but usually they work together. One of the secrets of success and happiness is to learn to live with your chimp and not get bitten or attacked by it. To do this, you need to understand how your chimp behaves and why it thinks and acts in the way that it does. You also need to understand your human and not muddle up your human with your chimp. Let's see what are the main differences between the two independent thinking machines, the human brain and the chimp brain. The human brain is logical thinking, evidence-based, rational, in context and with perspective, shades of gray, and balanced judgment. Uses facts, truth. The chimp brain is emotional thinking, jumps to opinion, thinks in black and white, paranoid, catastrophic, irrational, emotive judgment. Uses feelings, impressions. The agenda for the human brain is self-agenda, society agenda. The agenda for the chimp brain is perpetuation of species, self-survival. The human operates with a humanity center based on honesty, compassion, conscience, law-abiding, self-control, sense of purpose, achievement, and satisfaction. The chimp operates with a jungle center based on instincts, drives, vulnerable stances, body language. Interesting thing is that female human is same as male human, while male and female chimps are different. So, the human lives in society, goes by social rules, driven by quality of life and humanity. The chimp lives in the jungle world, goes by jungle rules, driven by survival and other primitive drives. It's important to know that whenever you have thoughts, feelings, or behaviors that you don't want or welcome, then you are being hijacked by your chimp. Chimps like to go on how we feel to decide on future actions, whereas humans tend to go on what needs to be done and also how they will feel at the end of the day when they look back how they used their time. These two are very different approaches. Human searches for facts, truth, and evidence before making a conclusion. Chimp has a conclusion and then searches of facts, truth, and evidence to support the conclusion. You see, your chimp operates with a jungle mentality. It relies on instincts and drives, quickly going into a flight, fight, or freeze mode when sensing change or danger. Here's an example of going into a room full of strangers. Some chimps will simply turn and flee, feeling threatened and insecure. Some will freeze, finding social interaction difficult and causing high anxiety, whilst others will go into a fight mode and seek to establish their presence with confidence. The trick here is to enable the human to step in, assess the situation calmly and factually, to enable more rational, appropriate course of action. Now, all information goes to chimp first, human second. You are responsible for your chimp and its actions, just like you're responsible for your dog and its actions. You can't change the nature of the chimp, but you can manage its actions. Willpower is not a good way to manage your chimp, because your chimp is 5 times stronger than your human. The limbic system, the chimp, which is evolutionarily much older, works faster, sending stronger impulses to action. You can't control your chimp, but you can manage it. Part of the problem of clashes between your chimp and you is not realizing that your chimp is merely making an offer, not a command. You have a choice to accept or reject the offer, because your chimp interprets emotionally and gives an offer to human. Human has a choice to accept or reject. Therefore, the most important thing is to start observing your own state of mind. When you start stressing out, ask yourself, who's in charge here? Do I want to think and act this way? Or is the chimp taking over? Learning to observe this is the first big step in mastering your inner chimp. 2 aspects to working with your chimp. First, nurture, then manage. How to manage your chimp? There are 3 ways to manage your chimp. First way, exercise. Second way, box. Third way, banana. Now, first way, exercise the chimp. How to do it? Take the chimp out to a locked compound where it can't hurt anybody. Let it all out. Then listen to the chimp for as long as it takes and don't comment. Second way, boxing the chimp. Use facts, reason, truth, and logic to calm the chimp down. It may take several episodes of exercising the chimp for any one problem before you can box it. You may also need to keep putting the chimp back into its box several times for any one problem. Sometimes the chimp doesn't need to be exercised and will go into the box of logic and truth straight away. Third way, distract chimp with banana. It could be external praise or approval. The most obvious one is through rewards, so that when your chimp wants you to react in a dysfunctional way, you guide it to more productive behavior with a positive reward. The example, you know it is urgent for your room to be redecorated, but you have an offer to socialize with a friend, the lateral being the obvious lure for chimp behavior. The answer is to invite your friend around to help paint your house, thereby achieving the human's needs, while rewarding the chimp with a banana of having some fun and interaction with your friend at the same time. A simplistic example. Now let's talk about computer brain. According to Professor Steve Peters, your computer, parietal parts of the brain, has 2 functions. Think and act automatically for you using programmed thoughts and behaviors, and reference source for information, values, and beliefs. Your computer is 20 times faster than your human. Computer has 5 parts: autopilots, goblins, gremlins, stone of life, and mindset. Autopilots are positive beliefs, behaviors, and automatic functioning. For example, riding a bicycle, staying calm when something goes wrong, focuses on solutions than problems. Goblins and gremlins are the opposite of autopilots. Goblins are hardwired in your computer because they were put there when you are very young. It's very hard to remove them. Gremlins are soft-wired and it's easier to remove them. Usually has to do with unhelpful and unrealistic expectations. Example of goblin would be a child who thinks that her worth is based on what she achieves. Example of gremlin would be, I believe that I should always be on time. See, autopilots and gremlins are put into the computer by your human and your chimp respectively. When a situation occurs, both your human and your chimp will look to the computer for references. The human will find autopilots and the chimp will retrieve gremlins. It is important to have lots of autopilots in the computer because this will help slow down the chimp. Now, Stone of Life contains 3 smaller components: Truths of Life, Values, and Life Force. Truths of Life are set of beliefs that you know how the world works and you can prove they are true by experience or example. Values are beliefs you have found to be important to you. Truths are evidence-based, values are personal judgment calls. The Life Force is what you believe life is about and how you should live it. To discover the Life Force, imagine you are on the deathbed and you have 1 minute left. Your great-great-grandchild asks, "What should I do with my life?" Your answer is your Life Force. Your computer provides a reference for a mindset. A mindset is based on perception of self, other people, and the world. It is important to know these things. Humans don't always get it right. Chimps don't always get it wrong. You can search out and replace gremlins with autopilots. The Stone of Life is the most important part of your mind. It is something that you can work on. Reinforcing the Stone of Life by making it visible every day is a major settling influence on you. You can replace the should gremlins with the could autopilots. This needs to be done repeatedly to embed the autopilots into the computer so that it can work without your inputs. Just remember that the Stone of Life is by far the most powerful stabilizer for your psychological mind and indeed for your entire universe. Now, let's put everything together and let's see how the chimp, the human, and the computer deal with information. Keep in mind that you can't stop the chimp from reacting to the events, but you can stop the chimp from acting on their reactions by using the human to intervene and switch to human track. Of course, you can't always use the human to intervene successfully because the chimp is stronger and reacts faster than human. However, the chimp will check with the computer for reference, so you can program the computer to settle the chimp down. Your personality is a mixture of chimp, human, and computer. You can be the person you want to be, but your chimp hijacks your being, plus goblins in your brain are controlling what you think. You have to remove those goblins. Like any similar operations, removing goblins starts with their identification. And since your computer brain is the storage of information in your skull, your goblins are most probably hidden somewhere in there. You see, both your chimp and your human brain are fed by the information stored on your computer brain. So find a negative behavioral pattern, which your chimp brain may abuse, and turn it into a positive one. That's what high performers do that achieve the highest level of success and happiness in life. Confidence based on ability gives power to the chimp brain. If you give power to the chimp, you will always feel that you're not enough. Confidence based on giving your best gives power to the human brain. Focus on giving your best and you will feel confident. When your chimp says, "I think there is risk, remove it," human has to tell the chimp that sometimes risk can't be avoided. You have to accept it. Ask yourself, how can I help my chimp? The problem is that the chimp frequently seeks security unrealistically. What you can do is place an autopilot in the computer brain to steady the chimp. There are 2 lists to achieve happiness: having list and being list. Having list includes achievements, possessions, emotional, physical, intellectual. Now being list includes self-worth, self-image, self-confidence, self-esteem. If you want to be happy, then focus on being list, not having list. Items on being list is about choice. Self-worth is the value you put yourself as a person. Self-image is how you see your personality and presence. Self-confidence is what you believe you're capable of doing. And self-esteem is how you see yourself compared to others. So happiness is actually a choice. Of course, life is full of ups and downs through which you can actively work toward more good times and fewer bad ones. How does this work? Well, doing this starts with adding good things to your life. Remember, there is nothing superficial about seeking out what you need to be happy. For example, there are some material things that you likely need in order to feel happy and relaxed, like food, a comfortable apartment, and a shower. And of course, there are also emotional things you desire, like the love of a partner or respect from your colleagues and friends. Regardless of what it is you're finding yourself you're wishing for, write down these desires and think about how you will be able to bring them off of paper and into reality. However, as you do this, make sure you keep in consideration that pushing yourself to do too much might obscure the great achievements you will make along the way. This means the true issue with happiness is that your chimp brain will never truly be satisfied. Chimp is always searching for more, which can dangerously lead to achievement, not happiness. Picture an athlete whose main goal is to win an Olympic medal. Along the way, he picks up a large number of national titles and displays unrivaled athleticism. However, despite of these accomplishments, he never celebrates. It is likely that even if he does end up winning Olympic gold, he won't be able to enjoy it. Instead, he will immediately move on to the next potential win. Living life this way is simply a recipe for disaster. And in order to avoid it, it's necessary to appreciate the little milestones as you achieve them. This is the only sure way to enjoy and experience the happiness you originally strove for. Once you have this down, you will be equipped with the complete toolkit necessary for outsmarting your inner chimp. Just remember to make healthy plans that counter your primal urges. Let yourself vent in safe spaces. Communicate with wisdom and love, and celebrate all little successes along the way. My friends, thank you for watching this video. What's the most valuable thing that you have learned from this video? Comment below. And make sure you subscribe now, because this channel is all about why we do what we do and how to really make positive changes in life. Hey, I'm glad that you have found me. Let's make those changes in life. I will speak with you in the next video.